Actually, it goes to, it's applicable to every citizen. That two things that is basic in human being is, one is, which is inborn in him, that is humanism, a humanitarian consideration. Other is honesty. If somebody says this officer is honest, I wouldn't consider it as an honor conferred on him. I would just say, oh good, he's a human being. But merely being honest at the same time, not being humanist is no good. So this is how we treat the people who come to our office. In the end of the conversation, if you find there's absolutely no way you can help the person, he has to go to the court of law, or there is a statute which governs his problem, then we have no jurisdiction to deal with it. So very often we say, sorry, madam, you have to go to the court. Believe it or not, however frustrated they are, a large percentage of them, when we tell them, no, we can't do it, they fold their hands and say, sir, it's all right, sir, it's my luck, bad luck. You have understood my problem. Somebody has heard my problem in its entirety. We are satisfied. This is a basic thing that we want in every government office to be followed. How far it is being followed in the other office, I'm not very sure. But the feedback that we get is very, very good. In this context, let me give one example. That is, in 2008, end, somewhere November, December, a handicapped tailor and his wife brought an 8-month-old child to my chambers and kept it on the floor of the office and said, sir, please look after this child, we are running away. I said, oh, please sit down now, let us talk about it, let's discuss what's your problem. Hesitantly they sat, then they started explaining. This child had a congenital problem. When it was born, it had half-developed intestine. It was eating through the mouth and it had to defecate in a very, I can't explain what is the real thing. But this could have been treated very easily because it's a common phenomenon, I'm told. Common means not everyday phenomena, but it is quite a known phenomenon to the medical world. A doctor who was drawing in 2006, 33,000 rupees basic salary, a pediatric surgeon in a teaching medical college hospital. And in 2008, he was drawing 80,000 rupees after the 5th pay commission. When the child was taken there, he demanded 50,000 rupees bribe from a tailor, knowing well he's a poor person, knowing that innocent child, the entire future would be ruined. He didn't have the humanitarian consideration to it. He brought the child to my office because he was afraid that if he still forces him to do it, he may do some damage to the child. Now, I could have said in Bangalore, 2 major hospitals, government hospitals are there, Bowring and the Victoria Hospital. I didn't say that you go there, I'll give a letter or I'll telephone to them and they'll do that. No. I said, stay back. I sent my officers to various super specialty pediatric hospitals. And one of the hospitals in the old Elbapur Road, the Manipal Hospital, agreed to do it free. And the child was there for 1 full month. We looked after the child and the parents. From the contribution of the people, officers and others in the Lokayukta institution, the child is today, ladies and gentlemen, is like me or like you, a perfect child. What would have been the fate of this child if everybody are to think in terms of, oh, my jurisdiction ends here. There's nothing more I can do about it. It's bad luck. You must have done something bad in your past life. That's why the child is like this. This is just one amongst hundreds of cases where we have reached out to the people. I'm very proud to say that. And these are things which must have happened in most of the places. Lack of humanitarian consideration is one of the basic or the regular thing in maladministration. It's not that the power is not there, jurisdiction is not there. It is there. We all should revolt against things like this. Maybe in just another example I'll give you in a district headquarters. One pregnant lady goes to the district hospital, labor pain on. They didn't admit her, saying that she didn't have the money to pay. She walks across the road to the bus stop, delivers a child there in the street. Consequence is not of one's self-respect. In Karnataka, there is a scheme. If a girl child is born in a government hospital, it gets 500 rupees a month for the first about 7 or 8 years. Even that is lost. We took up the Somoto investigation. Lokayukta then took it up. Ultimately, as is always the thing and all, one nurse was punished. The doctors didn't get into this. But these are things which brings happiness to us. And this is 90% of our work. We have problems in the Bangalore city. The illegal constructions are going on where the road frontage is only 20 feet, you find 10-story buildings coming up. The Bangalore corporation offices, we have ward engineers and others. Everybody is looked after well, so nothing ever. We have gone on a vigorous drive against these people. But unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, there are judges here, but factum is they go and say that I've been given a notice by the corporation to demolish my building. Injunction till next date. No application is filed to vacate the injunction. For years together, the building construction goes on. That they use a word called status quo to be maintained. What is the status? What is the quo? God alone knows. I keep very often telling my colleagues, ex-colleagues and others, I think we should tell these subordinate courts, and what is status quo? You should have a proof of what is prevailing on the day you are passing that order. A construction foundation is laid, status quo means it remains at that point of time. But the application for vacating the status quo comes, there is a full-fledged building that comes. Then the equities change. Poor people who have come and invested money, they have purchased apartments, they had nothing to do with this. Why should they suffer? And Karnataka government has come with a tremendous idea to help these poor people. Who poor? The builders. In Canada, they call it akrama and sakrama. Regularizing the irregular buildings. I mean, I come out openly and people have criticized me against it. So much so today, the government of Karnataka says, Lokayukta keeps on telling this, telling that, criticizing. We do not know whether he has that power. So I once said, if I don't have the power, tell me when is it null. I'll show you where my power starts and where it ends. If I don't have power as a Lokayukta, I have the power as the citizen of Bangalore. We have to protest against it. If today Lokayukta is known, if I am invited here to speak on the Lokayukta of Karnataka, obviously you must have found some difference between the Lokayukta of Karnataka and Lokayukta of other states. You have to be proactive. In democracy, I remember reading a chapter in the Constituent Assembly debates and how dignified the debates were, how scintillating the debates were. When they first decided what type of a political governance this country should have, many people stood up and said, of course there were very many examples were available. There was monarchy, there was isms, the communism in Russia, capitalism in Europe, America, socialism in Scandinavia, the dictatorship was there, everything was there. But then the members of the Representative Assembly felt, we have been ruled by the foreigners for the last 200 plus years. Let us have a government of ourselves. Let us rule ourselves without knowing the future. And they decided the political system will be a democratic republic. American past President Abraham Lincoln has defined it to mean a government of the people, by the people, for the people. A great feeling when we read our Constitution. We, the people of India, give unto ourselves. It's my government. It's my representative who is there. He will look after my interest. How do you look after your interest? Let me give you recent examples of a state assembly of Karnataka and a parliament recently. When Lokayukta's resignation became a controversy on its own, Assembly met and had great debate for 4 days. There are very many agendas in the minutes, or in the agenda the minutes were there. But only one issue was taken up. Should the mining irregularity be, inquiry should be entrusted to the Lokayukta or CBI? The opposition said it should be CBI. The ruling party said no, it should be by the Lokayukta. First time they found some confidence in Lokayukta, knowing very well he can't do it. Be that as it may. But what happened for 4 days? The moment the assembly met, shirt sleeves were pulled up. You come to Ballari, see what will happen to your legs. You talk more about that, your tongue will be slit. These are representatives of Karnataka. For 4 days, they didn't do anything. They slept in the assembly. They ate biryani there. The next day, they again started the same thing for 4 days. I'm sure the sitting allowance was paid. Let's go to the center. Another center of democracy there. The last parliamentary session when it started, they said price rise should be the first discussion and voting should be done on that. Other parties say, no, there's other things in the agenda, we'll take that up first. Argument, which should be the chick or the egg, went on. Not one day any other matter was discussed. Former Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Somnath Chatterjee, said in one of his articles, at that point of time, inflation has gone up now, so the figure will be much bigger. A day's proceedings in the parliament costs 1.3 crores of rupees. Every hour costs 23,000+ rupees. No, 23,000, 1.3 crores. Where, for 4 days, if this is the expenses, but is it the purpose? I'm coming to the basic. Is it the purpose for which we elect them? Mr. Datar was showing an article this morning about the discussion on ombudsman in the English thing, vis-a-vis the rights of English Parliament. They say this institution is not being constituted to curtail the powers of the members of the parliament because they have a very, very onerous job of arguing for their constituents in regard to every action of the government. That is what is happening in this country? Aren't we making a mockery of democracy? In Karnataka, it is said, for an assembly seat, you've got to spend about 5 to 6 crores of rupees. For parliament, 10 to 12 crores of rupees. Let us use our intelligence. Does it require that much money to serve the people? Do they require 1 rupee more salary than the senior bureaucrats? They get 80,000, give us 80,000 plus 1 rupee. There are people who will say, fortunately, they increased it only to 50,000. But do you know, they doubled the constituency allowance from 20 to 40, 45. They doubled the secretarial allowance from 20 to 40. They are drawing about 150,000 to 60,000 rupees, plus their daily allowance for shouting and adjournment comes to 1,000 to 2,000 rupees per month. I think in democracy, we should develop a habit of asking questions. There's no use going on demonstrations, strikes, and other things. More and more questions asked may bring about a change in the system. I have a hope that maybe my generation we have ruined in the last 60 years of democracy and 64 years of independence. We are responsible for what the situation is today. The younger